Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for Wednesday, November 26, 2025. I'm Adana Doric. In the headlines tonight, Minister Ashmi Singh details rapid budget preparation and economic resilience plan. Victims have strong legal protection. No one must stay in abuse, says Minister Manikchand. CARICOM demands urgent reform of UN Security Council to end Felicia's veto power. And GLSC flags record-breaking demand as Susdike-Linden Highway reaches full saturation. Now for the news in depth. The Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission (GLSC) says the Susdike-Linden Highway is facing an unparalleled land rush, with over 30,000 requests now logged, an overwhelming spike that has left the corridor completely absurd. GSLC Chief Executive Officer Eric Moniz revealed the figures during the closing ceremony of the Sustainable Land Development and Management Project, noting that while nearly 9,000 applications totaling more than 150,000 acres have advanced to the approval stage nationwide, no region mirrors the pressure seen along the Linden-Susdike stretch.
The demand is so much that we currently have over 30,000 requests, just simply requests, for land in one location, the Susdike-Linden Highway. Alone, this area is almost full. It's almost fully saturated.
He explained that available land in the area has been exhausted, prompting a reduction in both allocation frequency and parcel size. To ease the strain, a GLSC is moving to reclaim doormat leases and redistribute them to applicants who are ready to work.
Allocations have reduced significantly due to unavailability of lands, and the need to provide housing solutions along that corridor also. We have now reduced the acreages that we're issuing in those locations. We are also pursuing inactive leases so that those lands can become useful and be given to people who are ready to work.
Muniz also stressed that purpose-built housing developments will be crucial to meet the mounting interests in the corridor. Despite the heavy influx, he noted that GLSC has continued to deliver on nearly all government requests promptly, an improvement he credits to sweeping institutional upgrades introduced since 2020. These include GPS-enabled surveying systems, modernized workflows, and extensive staff training, forming what Moniz described as a complete retooling of the agency. However, challenges persist. Squatting remains a major obstacle, with illegal occupation occurring on road reserves, dams, infrastructure zones, and even private property, despite repeated regularization efforts. Moniz said this issue continues to hinder GLSC's broader mission to expand, protect, and manage land resources nationwide. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News. Amidst the constant din of activity following a recent decisive re-election, the Minister of Finance offered an update on the nation's economic planning, emphasizing both the rapid pace of Budget 2026 preparation and the foundational policy of resilience designed to buffer the economy from global commodity price swings.
Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, speaking on the sidelines of an event Tuesday, said the government's commitment to hitting the ground running budget preparation has already commenced. Ministries and government agencies have finalized their initial budget submissions, which the minister explained flesh out in greater detail the commitments that would have been given in the manifesto. The next few weeks are described as an intense period of effort focused on internal review and consultation with private sector groups and other stakeholders, with the goal of submitting the budget to Parliament very early in the new year. The ultimate objective is clear: to begin immediately delivering on all manifesto promises.
That will see us beginning to deliver immediately on the commitments that we gave in the manifesto, because it is our intention in this term of office to continue to do as we have always done, which is to ensure that we deliver our entire manifesto to the people of Guyana.
The conversation then shifted to the global economic environment, particularly the recent downward trajectory of oil prices and its potential impact on Ghana's public investment program. The minister characterized Ghana as a small and open economy operating within a very drastic global trading space, one where primary commodities remain significant contributors to economic activity and therefore are susceptible to commodity price volatility.
The reality is that we are operating in an environment where there is and will be commodity price movements and even commodity price volatility. You quite rightly point out that oil prices have been, in recent times, on a relatively downward trajectory. We keep a close eye on external market developments. This is why we devote a whole chapter in the budget speech on the global environment. This is why we devote in the mid-year report an entire chapter on global economic developments, because we pay close attention to the global context.
The minister stressed that the entire policy framework and all structures have been specifically designed to ensure the economy can withstand fluctuations in oil prices. This proactive planning involves avoiding the creation of a macroeconomic framework based on the unsustainable assumption that oil price will remain at high levels, such as $98 and $100 per barrel indefinitely. This cautious philosophy ensures the macroeconomic framework is robust enough to absorb commodity price dips, thereby keeping the public investment program stable despite fluctuating oil prices. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Guyana's permanent representative to the United Security Council, Her Excellency Caroline Rodriguez Burkett, speaking on behalf of the Caribbean CARICOM, delivered a forceful statement to the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, on behalf of its 14 member states, urging an urgent overhaul of the UN Security Council, a call Guyana has been in support of since taking up a role on the Council. Colin Abrams has more.
Ghana's permanent representative on the United Nations Security Council, Her Excellency Caroline Rodriguez Burkett, speaking on behalf of CARICOM, recalled the commitment made by member states in the Pact for the Future to reform the UN Security Council, recognizing the urgent need to make it more representative, inclusive, transparent, effective, efficient, democratic, and accountable. The committee stressed that the Council's current configuration, now 80 years after the organization's founding, no longer aligns with the massive growth of UN membership and fails to effectively maintain international peace and security. CARICOM therefore called on all member states to fully recommit to urgent reform. The statement lamented that while current global threats are often within the Council's purview, action is routinely stymied by geopolitical tensions that are played out in the Council, often to the peril of lives and livelihoods. The representative argued that the UN could play a far more effective role in resolving contemporary conflicts if the Council were less susceptible to geopolitical maneuvering.
This pledge represents a long-standing aspiration of many member states who have continued to advocate for Security Council reform on the premise that the current configuration of the Security Council does not align with the growth in membership of the United Nations, nor does it lend itself effectively to the maintenance of international peace and security 80 years into the establishment of the organization. CARICOM therefore urges all member states to fully recommit to the goal of urgent reform.
A central point of CARICOM's address was the continuing use of the veto, which it identified as one of the biggest impediments to timely Council action, particularly in situations where intervention is desperately needed. The General Assembly, CARICOM asserted, must continue to examine the question of the veto with a view of reducing the proclivity for it to be used solely in pursuit of political interest, even when resulting in grave consequences. In this context, CARICOM reaffirms its support for the veto initiative, a mechanism designed to create accountability around the use of the veto by mandating a General Assembly debate following its exercise. Beyond the specific powers of the permanent members, CARICOM emphasized that substantive progress on reform remains out of reach unless the progress for achieving it is itself remedied.
A careful survey of the current threats to international peace and security would reveal that virtually none of them is beyond the scope of what the Security Council can address. However, the difficulty often lies in geopolitical tensions that are played out in the Security Council, often at the peril of lives and livelihoods. The United Nations could have a much more effective role in many of the conflicts that we are currently witnessing, should the Security Council be less prone to geopolitical maneuverings. On this note, CARICOM continues to lament the continuing use of the veto, which represents one of the biggest impediments to Council action.
While recognizing incremental strides in the Intergovernmental Negotiations, IGN, the committee views the normalization of IGN's working method would yield more concrete results. Delays in this procedural reform translate directly to delays in remedying the chronic underrepresentation in regions such as Africa and Latin America and the Caribbean, and hinders the aspirations of vulnerable groups like small island developing states, SIDS, for guaranteed representation. Ambassador Rodriguez Burkett concluded with an optimistic challenge to the General Assembly.
Reform of the Security Council is not impossible. We, the member states, have the power to make it happen. We only need to engage in good faith to make it happen.
Colwyn Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
Channel 9 is now Guide TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guide TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
Guyana, get ready for Sundown 2025, the country's biggest electronic music and arts festival, featuring Danik from the Netherlands, Walshy Fire of Major Lazer, Lip Prince, creator of Reggaetronics, and Helang from New York. An open-air festival packed with massive light shows, art installations, and the main stage by the ocean. December 6th, Marriott Beachfront, Georgetown. Time, 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. Tickets available online at ticketgateway.com. Eventbrite and Potsalt. For physical ticket locations, visit BPM Guyana on all socials. Sundown 2025. Guyana's EDM movement starts here.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya Manichan is reminding survivors of domestic violence that the law provides strong protection to help them leave abusive situations safely. During her ongoing public awareness series on Tuesday, the minister outlined several court-backed measures designed to ensure that victims do not lose their homes, children, or financial security when seeking help.
Minister Priya Manikchan highlighted that survivors have immediate legal options to safeguard themselves and their children. Among these are temporary maintenance orders, which compel financial support for the victim and their children, and temporary custody orders, which legally secure the children with the parent escaping the abusive environment. She explained that these protections exist to stop abusers from manipulating victims through money or threats involving their children.
Words, your husband could have bought this in his name. He could have inherited it from his family. He could have tenancy in his name, and the court would still order him not to come into the property, and that you'll be allowed to live in the property to the exclusion of his presence until the matter is concluded. You can get an order for maintenance, temporary order for maintenance for you and your children. You can get a temporary order for custody for your children.
The minister also tackled several misconceptions that often prevent women from leaving violent partners. Many believe that once they step away, they automatically lose their home or must hand over their children, especially when the house or rental agreement belongs to the abuser. She clarified that the law does not work that way. Courts can order the abuser to vacate the residence regardless of whose name is on the documents, ensuring the survivor and her children remain safely housed during the legal process.
Very many, because I know a lot of people are very worried, well, if I leave, I gotta leave my kids with him, and this is his house or the tenancy is in his name, which means I'll be on the street. That's not necessarily true. There are many remedies that you can pursue and that the court system would allow you to pursue. So I'm inviting you to consider, one, whether you are being abused, two, to get out of that by using the system.
Reaffirming government support, the minister stressed that no one should feel forced to remain in an abusive home. She said the legal system, welfare programs, and support networks are all in place to protect survivors and help them move towards safety and stability.
Tomorrow or one of these days, I'll tell you about legal aid and what you can do to get legal assistance and other assistance from different NGOs or the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security.
Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Minister of Home Affairs Uniche Walren, during her official visit to the Juvenile Holding Center in Sofia, underscored the ministry's ongoing commitment to rehabilitation, protection, and youth development within the justice system.
Minister of Home Affairs Uniche Walren, accompanied by Permanent Secretary Andriali, conducted an official visit to the Juvenile Holding Center, underscoring the ministry's ongoing commitment to rehabilitation, protection, and the youth development within the justice system. The engagement, facilitated by Deputy Director Shandell Shipley, also included technical guidance from psychologist and former chair of the Juvenile Justice Committee, Riza Khan, who provided insight into the psychological and rehabilitative needs of the young residents. During her interaction with the youths, Minister Walrin emphasized the government's people centered approach and the belief in every child's potential.
We do not see bad children, we do not see bad young people. We see young people with so much promise, still see so much life, and we are going to make sure that when you leave here, you leave full of that hope and promise that you become productive members of our society of Guyana. You have a government, a minister that is working to make sure that you, when you leave here, that you leave here feeling full of hope despite the bad patch that you have gone through.
She encouraged the youths to openly express their needs, whether educational materials, remedial support, or other resources, so programs at the facility can be strengthened. Promising continued engagement, the minister noted that the visit marks the beginning of more consistent interaction.
I just want to say that you are not bad people, that you might have been victims of bad decisions, but just know that your future is still bright, that as your minister that oversees this facility, this holding center, that I still see promise in all of you. And I want you to see that in yourselves as well. And so whatever it is that you need, one person has said that he wants to have more books, the other said they want to have access to more remedial education to learn how to weld. So these are things that we want to hear from you so that you start to see that your life can be improved.
The visit forms part of the ministry's wider effort to assist and enhance initiatives in education, vocational training, psychological support, and reintegration, ensuring that every juvenile in state care is equipped for a stressful and hopeful future. Adana Dork, and TV9 News.
Residents of New Amsterdam are publicly expressing heartfelt gratitude to the government of Ghana for the rapid and transformative development taking place across their community, highlighting improved infrastructure, expanded opportunities, and life-changing social programs that continue to uplift families nationwide.
From upgraded roads and drainage to increased access to education, employment, and community support initiatives, citizens says the progress under the current administration has directly improved their standard of living. Many credited national programs, such as the Free University Initiative, Men on Mission, and major infrastructure projects for empowering single parents, youths, and vulnerable families while strengthening economic prospects across Region 6 and beyond. Listen as residents share their thoughts and appreciation for the government's ongoing life changing initiatives, speaking passionately about better roads, sustainable development, expanded opportunities for young people, and the renewed sense of hope taking root in their communities.
A mom of a 2025 CXC graduate, and sir, under the PPP government, you have break my generation course. With tears in my eyes today, I want to thank you that this year I have a son that wrote CXC. I'm proud because of you. A vision, a mission, I see feasibility, and for it to go, sustainability. From moving from a modern to concrete roads, proper drainage, free university program which will be beneficiary to you. I like to thank for the many programs that you have started, especially the Men on Mission, because I have seen many single parents, young mothers as who have been given house, live. It warms my heart to see the amount of development my community has deserved. Many may say it's just roads, bridge, and infrastructure what government is doing. But I have personally seen, first of all, this is not true, but I have personally seen many youth from my area being able to provide for their families and their friends and enjoy a really good standard of living from those same bridge, roads, and infrastructure work that you have been put out. We, the residents of New Amsterdam and the citizens of Guyana, are witnessing an era of remarkable progress financially, socially, educationally, and economically. If a person doesn't want to raise his standard of living, he's lazy right now, sir. Right? He's lazy because you give each and every household the opportunity to do better for themselves. The Barajavio de Mora River Bridge, the first of its kind and a true symbol of modern infrastructure in Guyana. The Oval to Eccles Highway, improving connectivity and easing travel. The Mandela Avenue to Eccles four-lane highway, reducing congestion and opening new economic corridors.
As transformational projects continue nationwide, residents say the development they are witnessing today represents more than infrastructure. It symbolizes opportunity, empowerment, and a renewed future for families across Guyana. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
With more than 1,400 Jamaicans still housed in 113 shelters nearly a month after Hurricane Melissa, the government is turning to a prefabricated housing solutions as an urgent alternative to ease overcrowding and relocate evacuees, particularly those now occupying schools and damaged infirmaries. Local Government Minister Desmond Mackenzie announced during a special press briefing that inspections of the units will begin today, with expectations that they will be operational within 2 weeks. The first installations will target the heavily impacted infirmaries in Trelawny and Westmoreland. As the government works to close more shelters and reduce dependency on temporary accommodations, support is also being extended to Jamaica's growing homeless population, which has increased since the storm. Despite these challenges, officials remain hopeful that the number of shelter occupants will significantly decline in the coming days. Turning now to international news, at least 13 people have been confirmed dead and 15 others injured as a massive level 5 fire continues to tear through the Wong Fo Court residential complex in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. The blaze has forced the evacuation of thousands of residents and triggered one of the city's largest emergency response in recent years, with more than 700 firefighters and dozens of fire engines deployed. A firefighter, 37-year-old Ho Wa Hoi, also lost his life in the line of duty, prompting tributes from senior government officials and expressions of condolence from President Xi Jinping. That has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Adana Doric. Good night.